What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Let me just say, a lot of us as brothers and sisters, we come up, some of us in, pretty good circumstances. Some of you, your parents were entrepreneurs. I knew that was the case, or is the case, for brother Pocket Watching with JT. He's an accountant out in St. Louis. And a lot of times it's easy to, assume that most black people come through the struggle. And not every black person comes through the struggle. A lot of our black people, more than we want to give credit for, come through some sort of stable environment. Two-parent home, strong grandparents, church system. Even though my dad had some issues with the crack cocaine situation, I had a strong grandfather, I had a really good, strong godparents, and I had some real big social benefits that have helped me become the man that I am today. That is not the case for a lot of people. And I will also include myself in this class, being that we come from what is known, or affectionately known from some of us as the hood, the ghetto. Some of you call it the bottoms, depending on where you live. In my neighborhood, Del Paso Heights, it was called DPH, the deepest part of hell. And of course, growing up in these environments, people believe that you should emulate what is stereotypically seen. And of course, I grew up in a blood neighborhood, so what's up, blood? What's going on? Then the hyphy movement came through, and you're supposed to act or behave, like this dysfunctional nigga can barely speak English, or that he cannot enunciate his words or her words, and you're supposed to be a clown, okay? And that also can be said of the brothers who come from the continent. Just because they come from less than stellar circumstances, they're supposed to be out there, acting like village people. And those are stereotypes. The reality is that just because you come from a place, it doesn't mean that you need to stereotypically reproduce the behaviors of alleged actions of that trope. Point blank, period. All right? And this is the case with Young Miami and Glorilla. Now, Miami, I believe she's from Miami, Young Miami, and Glorilla's from Memphis. The problem is that they're upset that people are coming down on them for the way that they behave. These women who are being criticized are Sukiana, Sexy Red, and Glorilla. People don't like their outfits, performances, okay? And Glorilla is upset, okay? Because the way Glorilla carries out is ridiculous. She said this: y'all hate on every hood B that make it out, and it's sick. Young Miami says, very. Y'all hate to see black girls living the life they deserve. Make it make sense. Let me say this. Let me say this. As a person who comes from an environment where you have very little resources, and some of you guys can understand that, we got to give black folks some credit here, right? A lot of black people, be it Democrat or Republican, conservative or liberal, for whatever agenda or against the agenda, one thing that all of us as black folk hate, Africa hates this, we hate to be generalized as ratchet or ghetto or poor or destitute. Africans hate this. African Americans hate this. Black Caribbeans hate this, okay? We understand what white people have done to us, what resources have been taken away. We get it. But just because you've grown up in that environment, it doesn't mean that's how you need to display yourself. Black people are tired of that. I just got to be real. Most of us come from an environment that we didn't have a whole lot. We could easily made a different choice in our life. I grew up partly in Los Angeles on 112th Street, Grape Street, White area. Okay. Imperial Courts was not too far down. Jordan Downs is right there. Along across the tracks was Jordan, Nickerson Gardens projects. And you have every reason to be like that. But because of my family and their values, just because I grew up around that, it didn't mean my own father was on crack. That don't mean that I gotta act a fool. You being from Memphis doesn't mean that you gotta go out there and act a fool. People are not talking about hating on you or what you have. People are upset. Black women in particular are upset that you are making them look bad. That's why they're upset. And a lot of times in Black America, we like to deal with everything but what the argument is. And really, you know, people, listen, let me just say this. We have haters in the black community, right? But can I just be honest? We damn sure got a lot of people who will support. We don't give Black folks enough credit for being supportive. A lot of people like to see and like to hear a story of somebody who came up from almost misery and then they made it. That is an inspiration to a lot of Blacks. Of course you got haters, but not everybody in the Black America or Africa is a crab in the bucket. We want to hear those stories because it resonates with us. Because if you can do it, surely that is an indication that for me, I can also do that. If it's good enough for you and you done it, all you're gonna do is say, look, I can do it. You mean I don't have to act a goddamn fool to get this in life? I don't have to be an idiot. I don't have to be a dumbass and get here? That's great. Michael Jackson grew up in Gary, Indiana, in a rough place. Dr. Ben Carson, Tom, you know, I hate to say it, some of you are not gonna like it, Thomas Sowell, where you have grown up doesn't give you the right to disrespect your group, especially Sukihana and Sexy Red, especially Glorilla, because our people have fought historically to have a good representation in the world. And a lot of Blacks are starting to get this. We are starting to understand one thing that the brother Kevin Samuels tried to make me understand and everybody else understand before he passed away was image. What is your image in the world? Right now, I'm hanging out in Dubai. Okay, this is the truth. When you see Arabs in Dubai, the first thing that they want you to notice, if you can't notice something else, is image. That's the first thing that you need to understand. They want you to respect them. They demand it. And their people are going to behave in a certain way. They're going to have certain rules of engagement. They're going to be dressed a certain way. They're going to talk a certain way. Or else. Because one thing that they're not going to allow anybody to do is to make a fool out of them or a mockery out of them. It's not going to happen. If you do, it is going to be a lot of repercussions. They're not playing that stuff. Not at all. It's not going to happen. But with the Black race, when we try to pull our people and say, listen, we know that you from Memphis and you young, but please stop, sister. Just don't embarrass yourself like that. No, you hating on me. You hating on me. I hate y'all. Y'all hating on the hood chick. You don't understand that you're gonna classify another Black woman when she go to Dubai. That person's gonna see a Glorilla video or a Sexy Red song, and they're gonna immediately associate herself with that person and say, oh, this person is not to be respected. Y'all not looking at the image. A lot of Black people is paying attention to that now. Black people, Africans, African Americans, Caribbeans want to be respected on a world stage. We've seen how not being respected on the world stage, where it gets us. We've seen how it is. We've seen the gays come up. We've seen the Jews come up. We've seen Muslims, and I remember 2001, it was open season on Muslims. We've seen them come up. So we know what respect on the world stage gives you, what it gives your children. And now Blacks are starting to understand that. Blacks want that respect on the world stage. This is one of the reasons why on YouTube, if you look at these videos in Africa that all these content creators are putting up, it's how clean Kigali is. It's how beautiful Uganda is. You wouldn't expect this in Nigeria videos. Why? Because they want respect on the world stage. They're trying to get away from those tropes. Black women are getting away from those tropes. They don't want to be identified with that. But when Glorilla and Young Miami and these other ladies, they're pulling Blacks back into that embarrassment stage. This is what Blacks are criticizing them. Ain't no hatred involved in that. It's the truth. For guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all you. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.